Hey wife, hey, it's Wife Strut Wednesday, and I'm on this commute struggle, which y'all know I spend so much time in the car. So today I just thought I would shoot from the car because, I've been giving y'all the couch. So anyhow, I was watching a video that someone sent me, a stand-up comedian, Sinbad. He's a throwback from like my childhood. But anyway, Sinbad said something that has just stuck with me. I've been kind of trying to process, and I figured, okay, let me shout it out with y'all and tell me what y'all think, or if you see it this way or agree. So Sinbad said that people think marriage is just marriage and marriage is work, right? And he's like, but marriage is more than like just a job. Like marriage is a career. And I really started pondering, like, marriage is a career. That is so true. And there's a distinction between marriage being a job and marriage being a career. And this is the thought process that I kind of went through. So just roll with me. When you have a job, you kind of don't want to, sometimes you want to get up and do it and sometimes you don't, but it's also got this like clock in and clock out perspective. And so when you think clock in, clock out, sometimes you're on the clock and I'm here to do whatever because it's part of my role, I'm a job, whatever. And then sometimes you're off the clock. You're like, listen, you can holler at me tomorrow. And when you think about marriage, you might take that approach, but I don't think that that would be long-term successful, because thinking that you can clock in and clock out, and when you're on the clock, then you're getting some sort of reward for that or an outcome, which is like payment. And then when you're not, you can just go and live your life the way you want. I think that more so is like single life. Hey, when I want to be bothered, I'll call you. That's my job, on the clock. I'll show up, do what I'm supposed to do, carry out this role, make you happy so I can get paid. And when I'm clocked out, just don't holler at me, right? So I think there's a difference. So let me give you a nerd moment. There is this theory called superior worth hypothesis. And superior worth hypothesis in the field of communication talks about the way in which we think being in alignment with the way in which we speak, right? So if we don't have words for things, sometimes we don't know how to think about it. Well, that still applies with how we frame our thoughts of other words. So if you think of marriage as a job, how does that impact your thought, which then impacts your behavior, right? So superior worth hypothesis implies that the way in which we think impacts the way in which we behave. And so if we change the way we think and speak about things, then our behavior will follow, right? So let's say we're talking about our marriage and we're like, marriage is a job, honey. Then you might have that check in, check out perspective, and then your behavior will follow. But what if you reframe that and you're like, marriage is a career? That's what Sinbad was saying. Marriage is a career. When I change that in the thought process, if I think of a career, what do I think? I think, one, a choice, right? I think something that's long-term. I think that it's not just about duties and tasks, because if you get into the rigmarole of the daily duties and tasks only, now you're looking at it from a job perspective. But from a career perspective, you're like, listen, everything I do must correlate with this bigger picture. Right? What about your mission? What about your vision? When you go seek out locations that you want to have as a part of your career, there should be some consistencies later, right? No matter what company you were working for, no matter what your specific job title was, it should be in correlation with a career path, which is kind of implying longevity. So when you think about your marriage as a career, it's something that you have to be intentional with, that you seek out, that is in correlation with these foundational elements of who you are as a person. It doesn't just get caught up in the task of the daily things like a job does, because as your marriage progresses, and transitions, your daily tasks are not going to look the same all the time, right? I hope that this bouncing is not driving y'all crazy, and I'm sorry in advance, trying to hold it a little bit. But your career path, very much so, is going to have elements of it that should correlate year after year, right? Position after position, because you're on a track. And let me talk about something else that's so good about this difference between a job and a career. You get laid off from jobs. Been there, done that, lived that twice in my little 5 years of marriage. And I don't say little, take it lightly. I'm just saying, I know some people out here with full 30-year packages, okay? And I'm in the early side, but I know that every piece of those years count, right? But in my layoffs, them jobs are not loyal. They were like, bye, girl. Thanks for your service, but you got to go, right? But when I talk about a career path, it does not matter if you get laid off, because your career has a consistency and is connected to the foundations of who you are and what you're striving for. So if we think about our marriage as a career, what is our vision and mission, right? Every job that we take, every task that we do, everything extra that we put ourselves on, it should correlate with that career path. It should correlate with the identity of what it is that we're seeking to brand ourselves consistently.
Continue straight
over
on
time.
exit 163, I-410 south.
Sorry, y'all, that's the GPS girl. So if you think about your marriage, there's going to be days where you're like, There are also going to be days where you're like, okay, I'm here for this. My duties and tasks have changed, but this is part of my career. But let's also talk about evaluations. When you are working a career path, you have checkpoints. What's my 5-year plan? How do I know that this is working well? Give me some feedback. Feedback is a gift, right? Do we do that in our marriage? Do we seek out the feedback? Do we have a transition plan? Do we think about what our career is going to look like, and if we can get some insight as whether or not we're correlating with what we do daily into that? This truck is not trying to let me over, but the girl is moving. Anyway, so
continue straight,
when I
then
think
exit right to exit 163, I-410 south.
There goes my girl again. When I think about long-term,
Exit right to exit 163, I-410 south.
I thought I turned her off. When I think about a career path and I think about my marriage, I think that this is till death do us part, right? I signed up for this. I prepped for this. I went to college for this, right? So did I prepare myself for this marriage? Did I prepare myself for a role as wife? And every now and then I need some continuing education, right? In careers, you need continuing education. You need to show that you're still up to date.
Continue straight for 15 minutes to exit 48, Zarsamora Road.
Is your relationship going through transition? Are there new things in your field that you want to make sure that you're on top of? Do you want to get new certifications? Do you need to get new certifications? Do we need updates because we have to make sure that whatever certifications that we have are not expired? I mean, if we looked at that in marriage, I just feel like it could take us so many other places. And I think the biggest part is the intentionality about it, the wanting to stay on top of our field, the wanting to make sure that we're giving it all we got because we want to be the best of the best. And if you want to be the best of the best in your marriage, the person that's part of your career is your spouse. So maybe we ponder on that. I don't know if this is, are y'all connecting to this? I mean, when I really sat and thought about it, I was like, Sinbad, you are giving me life, speaking all kind of truth. And if I change the way in which I think about my marriage and the roles and how this needs to be this foundational principle that's consistent throughout this process of a career, I'm going to get an amazing retirement package, right? Because me and my spouse, my husband, get to grow old together. But the best thing about marriage is you don't have to wait till you retire to reap the benefits of that relationship. You don't have to wait until you've served all of your time to say, you know what, I think I want to cash out my benefit package. You also don't have to be a certain age. I just love that thought. Like, you know what? I get my benefits as I go. I put in work. I see that it's part of my career path. Every day I have to make some adjustments, and some days it's smooth sailing, and some days I'm working on a big project that has steep deadlines, and if it's not made or met, there might be some steep repercussions. I mean, that's a career path, and the best thing about it is you get to adjust it as you go and take on new tasks and try new things. And if we would think of our marriage in that fashion, oh my goodness, I just think that we could get so far. And so superior worth hypothesis is what I threw out today. If you like this concept, if you have opinions of this concept, maybe a spin of it that I didn't think about, by all means share it with me. So if you haven't done so already, subscribe, drop a comment, like, all of those good things. And unfortunately, I know my lighting is all over the place because I'm in the car today, but you know what? Sometimes that's how it goes in this life struggle, commute struggle. I'm here for all of it. It's Life Strut Wednesdays, ladies. I will see you next week. Until then, keep your strut a strut. Step in every pair of shoes that you need to fit the strut for that day. You know I'm going to be watching.